Hey tribe, I am leaving this because I'll be in ceremony on Monday morning. So I figured I would leave you guys a little video for at least my rant and what we're thinking about today. So happy Monday morning as you're seeing this. I hope you're enjoying the beginning of this unbelievable week. Let's take a deep breath in. As usual, I want you to start really focusing on the things that brought you gratitude, the things that brought you joy, love, happiness, appreciation. Get to these higher vibrations just by remembering, just by thinking of those things that really, really make you happy. This is the beginning of setting yourself up for an unbelievably powerful and divine week. And divine because you are divine. That's part of our talk today. So, we don't have a chat, but you can put them in the comments below. Extra bonus if you put them in the comments below for what you're grateful for, pride, joy, love, all the things. And one thing I'll miss is connecting with a lot of you. But a couple things that I wanted to kind of touch on today. One is really understanding, like we've talked about this before as far as labels. We've talked about it as far as like who are we? Who are you? Right? The first thing that comes to mind, notice I said mind, is everything that you've been programmed to say. When you go to a networking event or to a retreat, right? What's the first thing they say? Like, hey, what's your name and what do you do? What's your name and what do you do? So as if like what we do is actually what defines us. Like what we do for work? Is that what you mean? What we do minute to minute? What we do hourly? Like what are you talking about, right? The ego jumps to answer the question. Well, what is the ego? Let's go through that for a minute, right? The ego is a bunch of belief stories and programs that your brain has collected since you were born and has now given you a sense of self-image. Well, this is who I am, right? There's actually a great movie that came out from Disney. If you haven't seen it yet, I've got the kids. What is it called? It's the little emotions that are in the girl's brain. Oh man, I'll think of it later. But they do a really, really, really good job of kind of showing, what the self-image of this girl is, and it creates this beautiful little crystal figure that is made up of all of the programming and all the stories that she's learned since she was a child. Right? I'm a good person. I care for others. And as she approaches teenagerhood, there's new emotions that come to play, right? And Disney does a great job of, adding in the comedy that they need, and anxiety comes to play. It comes to take control of the body and take control of everything else. And it's interesting to see what happens in the different stories and different programs that come in as this preteen needs to say and do things that she feels keeps her safe, right? Keeps her accepted, keeps her feeling understood by the tribe, right? So I won't want to tell you the whole movie. Definitely watch it. It's a cartoon. Why not? Be a kid for a night. Watch this movie. Emotions, anxiety. No, what is it? Darn it. All right, I'm gonna put the thing in the chat so you'll see it later. So anyway, that is what the ego is. It's just the idea that the mind has as to who you are. And as we have discussed in the past, are we our mind? Are we our thoughts? Right? That's not who we are. You get to choose. Your thoughts will go no matter how they go, every single day. Right? We think, what's the number? I had the number before from a previous episode. It was like 90,000 thoughts in a day. And 80,000 thoughts in a day, and 78,000 of them are the same thoughts as yesterday. So if you were panicked and anxiety ridden yesterday, and if you were depressed yesterday, if you were sad and hopeless yesterday, the brain's going to want to try to keep you there, because the hell that they know is way better than the heaven that they don't. Right? That's uncomfortable. The brain tries to keep you safe, keeps you comfortable, keeps you in this exact same position, so that you don't experience anything that is unknown. It keeps the fear away, right? So talking about ego and who the ego is. And now that we've established that, I've had a few really deep one-on-one calls this past week with some community members and coaching clients. And the overwhelming anxiety, right? It seems at this moment in this year, which is a crazy year, if you follow the planets at all, this is a crazy year no matter what, right? This is a year of complete transformation and change. For a good way, by the way, if you accept that. You will be the one that assigns meaning positive or negative to it. But this is such a huge year anyway of transformation and change. And the people I'm having conversations with are so concerned around this energy of money. But where's the money? It was so easy to make 3, 4, 5 years ago. Why can't I make money? It's all of the stresses. I can't move. I can't create. I can't do anything because I'm so stressed out about needing the energy of money. I said needing the energy of money to come in to my world so that I can feel safe, so that I don't feel this fear anymore, this unknown, this thing. And I want to share with you guys, because most of my stories relate to my own experience, which is why I share them so much. But I will say, when I was called to shut down my real estate businesses, right? The businesses that were making 8 figures a year, I was called to shut them down because I knew I had a higher purpose and a higher calling, but I didn't even know what the hell that was yet. All I know is that I had been learning to listen to the intuition, to listen to my inner voice, not the negative one from the brain, but the one in the heart. And when it told me I had to do that, I had to start doing that. And I still didn't, and it took me a while, and it was painful. The universe kept putting things in my way until I finally had to surrender. And I still didn't do it willingly. And I had to understand what it was like to not have an income for months and months and months. And what that did for me is I did really, really well for a very, very, very long time, but the universe was also putting me in a place where they're like, you need to feel this. You need to know what it's like to not produce, to not achieve, and to be with yourself when you're not doing it. And in doing so, I will give you the opportunity to feel the deep scarcity feelings that the people that you will help will also be feeling. So I looked at that as a gift, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until I learned the same lesson that I want to have you hear and listen to in this video. As I did my own inner work and understood my core wounds and really dove deep and tried to feel the things that I didn't want to feel and remember the things that had been blocked from me because of safety and my mind blocking it, I would be woken up every single morning by different anxieties, money being just one of them, right? And as I continued to get woken up in this at 4:30 or 3:30 in the morning, and then the brain would start to go and the mind would start to go and all these things, right? The same tools that have been programmed to, well, now that you're up, let's have a conversation about this. And what about this? And oh my God, what about this? What about, here are the 8 different outcomes I see of this happening, and they're all negative. What do you think about that, right? Like, that's what the brain does. Until one day, I finally learned how to link my heart with my mind by simply blocking the mind voice and really going to that heart voice and saying, what is it that these thoughts are trying to teach me? Like, I know I'm not my thoughts, but why do I keep having these? Why can't I sleep at night? And you know what was really, really beautiful, what the voice said back? It said, energy is just money. I'm sorry, money is just an energy source, and it comes and it goes. And this culture puts so much emphasis on the almighty dollar that becomes an identity. It becomes who we are. It becomes our ego, right? Who are we? Well, I've got $1 million in the bank account. You know, who are you? How many units do you have? How many businesses do you have? Like, all that is bullshit. So the voice said, if you took money aside today, what's one thing that you can do for yourself where money is not on your mind? And I thought to myself, well, gee, money's not an option? He's like, no, stop thinking about the money. What would you do for yourself today? I don't know. I guess I'll go, do a workout. So I go in to do a workout. I finish the workout. I connect it again. What do I do now? Everything in my body is guilt because I'm not doing something about money right now. Everything is, but what does your heart say to do right now? I'm going to go for a walk on the beach. But I can't because I'm supposed to be doing this, supposed to be doing that, I'm supposed to be doing that, I'm letting somebody else down. Go walk on the beach, it said. And then I walked on the beach. And that walk on the beach confirmed everything I needed to be confirmed about what the intuition and what the heart is over the ego. So for those of you listening to this, and those of you who are having challenges or struggles with this energy of money, after that moment on that beach, when I learned that if I took time for me, if I followed that voice in my heart that has nothing to do with rational thought or logic, it has nothing to do with building something else that's bigger and better. All of a sudden, slowly and slowly, and then momentum built, the energy of money came back. Because I was no longer needing it, and I was no longer looking for it, and I was no longer making that the number one priority during my day. What was I making the number one priority? Myself. Self-love. It all comes back to love. And our ability to love others is only limited by the ability we learn to love ourselves. So as we always do in our Monday calls, what's the 3 questions to ask yourself for alignment this week? And that's just where they came from. What's one thing you can do for yourself this week? What's one thing today? What's one thing you can do for yourself today? Number 2, what's one way that you can show up for someone else that you truly care about today? Date nights, or planning a trip, or just a picnic, or sending a nice text, sending a nice note to a team member. And number 3, what's one step you can take today that moves you towards that which brings you the most excitement or passion in your life? And if you don't know what it is that brings you the most excitement or passion in your life, go back to when you were a kid and remember what it was like to have fun. What did you do? Singing, sports, jumping on curbs, balancing, gymnastics, right? Spitting competitions, water balloons. What do you do? What's fun? So now we're going to end this as normal. Deep breath in. I choose today to be a being of light. I choose today to walk in complete love and abundance. And everywhere I go, I will share that with others. I choose today to live my life as full as possible, knowing that the growth and expansion can only come when I feel uncomfortable. That also means that I will have to push and do things that my brain doesn't want me to do sometimes. I get to choose my identity every single moment. I get to choose whether I am living in love or in fear, because that's all that there is. I know that my ego is there to help keep me safe, but I also know that my heart is there to lead me in the direction of where I want to go, and I know that the universe has my back every step of the way. The universe will always have things looking out for me. The universe will always put things in place to make sure that my basic needs are taken care of. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you for all of the other beings of light around me. Thank you for the growth and expansion opportunities this week. And we close with a deep breath in. I love you, souls. I love you people so, so much. Please leave a comment. If this is on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That would really help us out, I think. Like and subscribe to this playlist. And I'll see you soon. Check in on the WhatsApp channel when you can.